Hello, everyone. Welcome to Customer Experience Live Dialogues. Data and insights are absolutely vital today for CX professionals and teams to understand their customer better, to personalize their services, and also ensure that organization and the brand delivers, and most importantly, retain happy customers. Today, joining with us in this discussion is Scott Rolf, Global Head of Data Quality and Inventory Transformation at BT. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, nice to be here.
Very happy to have you here. And first of all, congratulations on your new position as the Global Head of Data Quality and Inventory Transformation.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, so in this new position, you now work within the new digital unit to leverage data and inventory, as well as bring in automation, insight, and clarity to BT's data. Can you give us a bit of background on yourself and your role at BT, and also how your role has changed?
Yeah, sure. So I am a BT lifer. So I've been here for just under 23 years now. And while data's always been part and parcel of my role, mainly very manual, this is the first time I've been on this side of the fence where I've been able to take us on that digital journey that we need to as an organization. So before this role, I was the interim director for our digital service and improvement. So working directly with customers and introducing product level NPS. So I guess the roles changed because in the past, we've been far too familiar with manual data and trying to manipulate it and tell a story. And now we're at the forefront of trying to move our data into the cloud and use machine learning and AI to actually tell us proactive insights and actually take away the manual input and the risk of error and actually tell us what's happening in the future.
I see. So I think in this new role, it would definitely help that you have already had the background of, working with the customer directly. So, so now you're working with a lot of data in terms of customer behavior and expectations. So what is like the biggest observation that you've seen from all this data that you're working with?
Yeah, so I guess no surprise, but expectations from our customers is at an all-time high. So they have so much choice in terms of suppliers to go with, but also the last few years during COVID have massively changed their behaviors because they've realized that they don't need to be in an office, which means that they're more keen to have virtual support for their teams and their customers. So virtual call centers, having their IT moved to a cloud solution so they don't have to manage it on premise and have significant costs, which has meant that we've had to pivot to support them. We as a company like BT, you need to be at the forefront of being able to give that insight into where they should be moving, using lots of data, telling us about the market, telling us about other similar customer behavior to say, actually, this is the solution that is going to work for you. And as you're a global organization, you need this solution here, but a completely different solution here, depends on the needs of that country and how they're now working and operating and how their customers expect them to operate. So that's massively changed that. But the biggest thing that has really come to light is more the security theme. So traditionally, you would have seen industries like the financial markets very keenly interested in security because they have to protect their data. Now everyone else is realizing that as they move to more virtual natures, they need to secure those transactions. They need to secure all of the data that's moving across it. So security has become very much front of mind for all types of industry.
That is very interesting and very true as well, how fintech back in the day was usually the only industry that really was interested in security. Now, everyone, I think, including the customers as well, are becoming very aware of, cybersecurity and the effects of it because these days, everything is on the cloud, everything is online. So
yes,
you do have to take that protection. So the reason that a lot of companies are working with all this data and machine learning is basically ultimately to abstract all this data, all these insights, right? To get all this insight ultimately to improve and enhance the customer experience. So how is your experience with working with the customer service team or even the board to ensure that you are constantly improving the customer experience?
Yeah, sure. So I guess I alluded to at the start that my previous role was very much around digital service improvement. So in that role, we started to create things like product level NPS. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to understand everything about our customer journeys, including the products they were consuming, and actually did their reaction relate to the direct product or actually their experience as they moved along, order through to service, etc. So what we're trying to do now is working with those customer experience teams and the service teams who face the customers every day is to bring that data to life and understand the insights based on their feedback, but also look at the trends in the performance of their portfolio and the service that they're getting from us in a machine learning fashion. So we've started to apply that so that we can look at historic trends and therefore, in some ways, proactively guess how that's going to perform going forward, or understand where we need to invest in products or IT to improve it for the customer. So it's allowing us to provide that data back in a usable format for them to actually take action and engage with the customer, say, look, we know there's likely to be an issue. We're already dealing with it. We're already trying to fix the problem for you so that you don't notice the problem with your service. And that's what's key for customers right now, because they need to serve their customers, in some cases, 24 hours a day. They can't afford any downtime because that impacts their customers.
I really like what you said about, anticipating the problems that are going to happen and fixing it in advance so that the customers don't even realize that this is a problem at all. That I think that is a mindset that every company and brand, whatever industry that they're in, that is the main mindset that you should have when you talk about customer experience. So when we draw all these insights, the basic thing, the most important is the data, right? So when we collect data at various touch points in the past couple of years, the capturing of data from multiple touch points has improved a lot, but still there are some challenges. So what are your main challenges that you face in your role, and how do you see this being resolved in the near future?
Yeah, sure. So I guess for an organization like ourselves and many others, actually one of our key problems is too much data, which sounds like a problem everyone would love to have, but there is also a risk attached to it because having too much means it's in different formats, in different systems, and sometimes it's duplicated or it's conflicting. So part of our challenge is bringing that data together. So working with Google Cloud Platforms, for example, so that we can put that data and allow us to then analyze it and understand, well, actually, we've got two billing systems, for example, and they're both telling a different story. Which is the truth? How do we fix that so that going forward we have quality data, as my probably job title gives away? So all of my role is around fixing the data quality issues so that we can then use that for real insight for the business to make decisions going forward. So that's our biggest problem. And actually, it then relates to our second problem, which is then how do we move from some of the legacy IT, which that sits on, into more cloud-based solutions, etc. So that transition of data and shutting down of systems is quite a lengthy process, quite costly in some cases. So trying to balance the two and drawing insights out of the good data we're pulling is a reasonable balance to get right.
Absolutely. And, we have a lot of people, the experts in the industry come on here on our customer experience dialogues. And one of the things that I hear the most is unstructured data is the biggest problem these days. So having data is good, but it has to be structured data and, or like you said, quality data that we can pull insights from. Yeah. Well, it was such a pleasure talking to you today, Scott, and I cannot wait to see you at our Customer Experience Live show in the UK in November. I hope to see you there and have a great day ahead, Scott.
Thank you very much. I'll see you there.